Bob LeFavi. I live in Savannah, Georgia now. Grew up in New York and Florida. I'm 52 years old and I got introduced to CrossFit just because I was kind of bored with weight training. I wrestled in college and that sort of morphed into weightlifting because wrestling was over after college and I always lifted for wrestling, and then there was no more wrestling. So I kept lifting, did some bodybuilding, did some powerlifting. And after a while I just got kind of bored with the gym scene. It was the same thing over and over again, and I found myself taking more time off, and finally somebody said, look, when you're ready to have some fun, why don't you go to visit CrossFit? My job is a professor of sports medicine, and I know that in academia, a lot of the researchers don't give CrossFit a lot of credence, and it's because they don't understand it. So I thought, you know what, I'm just gonna go try it. So I just went to my first WOD. It was Fran, and it was a humbling experience. And I said, this is fun, because I see there's a lot I'm not doing, and some of the stuff I thought I was doing well, I'm not doing well. And then, you come to something like this and you realize, my God, even the stuff I thought I was really doing well, I can't do it all, So that's the nice thing about CrossFit, it's always challenge you at a new level. So I kind of found myself in CrossFit sort of because I was bored with everything else. And finally somebody said, hey, there's this thing out there for people who are bored with fitness. Why don't you go try it? And then of course you get caught in the community of it, and just the camaraderie, and it becomes something that's just bigger than just fitness. And that's kind of what I was looking for. And then my wife, who's a runner, that's all she ever did was run. She, finally just said, I'm gonna try this. And I can't believe she's not running anymore. She's just doing CrossFit. She loves it. And my son, who's a soccer player and a weightlifter, he winds up every opportunity he gets to go to CrossFit. I'm like, don't you want to take some time off because you play all these other sports? He's like, no, I really like CrossFit. So the future's there for it. It's certainly there for me. Whether it's going to be competitive at the games or not, I don't know. But the nice thing about CrossFit is it really doesn't matter. You're just challenging yourself. I, for one, am proud to be among this group, because when I sit in those stands with all the other Masters athletes and I look around and I see, you can tell by their number, their age group, and you think to myself, my goodness, I know 55-year-old guys with huge pot bellies who go to the bar every night, after work, and have adult onset diabetes. They have a high blood pressure, they've had heart attacks. Some haven't made it back from their heart attacks, you know what I mean? And so, I look at these guys and I'm thinking, look at what they're doing. You can see the effect that regular fitness has, but certainly what CrossFit specifically can do for someone. So I've become, even though an academician, I've become a believer. And I do think because CrossFit is driving so much of this market that even the academic community is going to have no choice but to investigate and to see how does CrossFit affect health and fitness overall. And I am beginning to see that research more and more, and it's going to explode, I think, over time. And not a small influence is something like the CrossFit Games, because they bring it to the national forefront. Now people aren't saying, I heard of CrossFit, but what is it? Now they're seeing it. And I'll tell you, I look at some of these men and women, in the 50s and 60s, and I'm thinking, my goodness, man, if I could just hang in there and get to that point and be that fit, there's nothing these guys can't do. And yet that's redefining aging in some regards.